few seconds for it to get to everybody, but do the whole ask them about audio and stuff. And if you're going to lean back, let's do this.
Okay, but I'm not. It's not live yet for me.
Yeah, it'll take a couple seconds. You're just like them because I did it from here. It takes a second for YouTube to get.
YouTube creator, you could get an.
Is that the commercial that's running? Can you skip the commercial?
Say goodbye to hours of editing.
I may put you back on. Say hello. See if anybody.
Hey guys. Okay, now it's they got a delay on it.
Say hello.
Hey guys. Okay, now it's they got a delay on it.
There you go. Just use that. Say hi.
Okay. Okay. Hi. Stuart just told me to say hi. Can you guys hear me? Somebody let me know. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Beverly.
I hear you.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to Members Only Live. So, okay. So, man, we've got just people, Ellen, Cheryl, Jackie, Beverly, Susan, you betcha. You betcha, what's your real name? Ellen, Diane, Tanya. You can hear me in Tulsa. Stephanie from Indiana, a fellow Hoosier. Okay, guys, this is so exciting. Well, just a little bit of housekeeping to begin with. If you are in it to win it, make sure that you just comment. I say you don't necessarily have to say in it to win it, but just participate here because you must be present to win. And then the winner will be announced at the end. Lisa in Overland Park, that's where my brother lives. My brother Dave and his wife Tracy and my nephew Dominic. But just let us know. And then the winner at the end will we will announce it. And then you will just send your mailing address to support@lindabotter.com. And if you know of anybody who's having a hard time, thank you, Sharon. Anybody who's having a hard time joining and becoming a member, if you just tell them to email us at support@lindabotter.com, we will happily send them the direct link without having to go through my homepage or anything. Because so much of our online experience, I think, is different depending on if we're on a laptop, on a phone, on an Android, those kind of things. So sometimes it's needlessly confusing. And then, Stuart, you want to give a big thank you to everybody for supporting our channel?
Well, absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
So yeah. No, he was going to say no.
No, I don't think so. No, I'm good.
But we all thank you for supporting our channel because it means so much that you have our backs and that you just, well, we just feel like you're really part of the community. Okay, so somebody is on now.
Carrie just said she's
okay,
on.
Carrie's on. And Carrie, by the way, is our creative coordinator. And I want all of us, now that Carrie is on, I want all of us to channel some positive vibrations Carrie's way, Stuart, because she starts back to school tomorrow. She obviously already has a degree, but she's going back for a second degree in public horticulture at the OSU Extension Center, which is why she is so knowledgeable about so many things and has the best hair of anyone I know. But she is the grown-up in the group, and she keeps us honest and she keeps us on track, doesn't she, Stuart?
She does.
And we love Carrie. So all of us send Carrie best wishes as she starts back to school, and best wishes to any of you or any members of your family that are also starting back to school, because I love back to school time. It reminds me of buying school supplies and all that kind of stuff. And I guess, can I ask a question of the day on a live? I don't know why not. Do you guys love school supplies as much as I do? Does it just give you a little jolt of joy when you go into your Target or whatever and it's school supply time? It certainly does for me. So Stuart, okay, somebody asked us already about a tulip question and it just went away.
All right, I can help you find it. I'm trying to be better.
Okay, Stuart, if anything happens.
Okay, question. And there's a good idea. If you're going to send us a question, put the word question first so we know
Oh,
that it's
yeah.
a question.
Okay, yeah.
That'll help us a lot in going back through and looking for them.
Okay,
if
so
you can do that. that's a
hopefully
good
you heard Stuart.
That being said, so here's the tulip question.
Okay, so if you have a question, put question first, and then it helps us identify them because we have so much incoming. Okay, what was the
what
tulip
type
question?
of tulips do you like the most?
Okay, this is a great question because if you have not already ordered your bulbs, you want to do so ASAP. And I have 2 regular sources that I order from. Color Blends is where I get most of my tulips and things. And then when I have specific specialty blends or specialty other kinds of bulbs, I usually get them from Brex. And I just love the blends from Color Blends. And in fact, here is an interesting thing. If you need a gift for somebody who already has everything, then send them bulbs. So for example, my sister is getting married, my sister in Indiana, she lives in Zionsville, and she is getting married October 8th. And for a wedding gift, I am sending her like 500 tulips, and she will just love that. She will love that. It will arrive just at tulip planting time. And I think they just make a wonderful gift. If you want to give a gift to somebody who just had a baby, then you might want to plant some daffodils or something that comes back every year about that same time, or just something to commemorate an event. I think that's a fun idea. So yes, Color Blends is typically where I order from. I've already ordered my blends for this fall, and I will share those with you in a video, I think this week. But order now because they are rapidly running out of some of their selections. So you definitely want to order now. Rodney is a school supply nerd. Yes, I just love school supplies, and I come by it honestly. And I think maybe it's one of the reasons I married my husband, because his dad owned a bookstore in Enid, Oklahoma, and he was the school supply king, because before he started selling office furniture, he sold school supplies. And everybody would go to see Bud to get their school supplies, which I love it. Question: when looking for a new home, will you look for established garden that you can revamp or a fresh slate? You know, Lisa, I don't really know, because it's going to be hard for me to find something that has the potential or that has the same kind of visceral tug as my own home. And so I'm not really sure. I'm just trying to keep myself open.
Did you say thank you to Christy Chance?
Thank you to Christy Chance, who is in from
Southwest
Southwest Florida, Zone 10A, which I need to know more about your gardening aesthetic down there.
I didn't know that happened. Sorry.
Yeah, what was that, Stuart?
I can put questions on the screen when you answer them.
Yeah, I know private family time is most important, but do you plan to do any quick vlogs while in Singapore? Karen, I certainly hope so. I think so. Partly because what's interesting to me is my boys don't really like to be on camera. My sons, Johnny and Jamie, but my daughter-in-laws do. And so we'll see, but definitely. I would not, I consider you guys extended family. So I would not keep you out of the loop. And definitely there's so many amazing places to go in Singapore that we will definitely be sharing some of those experiences. I'm not sure in what format, but we will.
Check this out. I can put a question on the screen for you to answer.
Oh, cool. When looking for a new home. That is so cool. Then I already answered that one. So let's answer
okay, cool.
Carol's. What do I do with coneflowers this time of year? Well, if they're in the ground and if they're looking kind of ratty and you want to cut them back to start generating some new foliage, if you still have enough time in your growing season, then you can do that. A lot of them, if they have gone to seed, I would just leave the seed heads on there for the birds. And also, so some of them will scatter and go to seed and you'll have more next year. So that's kind of what I would do. Mary, I need my glasses on. Mary Yaf from Muskogee, big fan of us.
Here's a question.
Nita was just out watering again. And and thank you, Mimi, for a super sticker. Do you have any color scheme of new planting themes in mind for next season? How do you hone in on that? Sometimes this is a very practical way I look at it. Sometimes it's what is available wherever I am in a color palette that speaks to me, whether I'm at the Bricks Nursery down the street, or I'm at TLC, or I'm at Calvert's, wherever. I'm at Home Depot. It just kind of depends on what I see. Sometimes I have a vague idea in mind based on things that are already blooming or will be in bloom in my garden, a certain color palette. And by the way, right after this, we are posting the video we just shot today, where I did a little bit more on container gardens for fall. And this is a really great idea, you guys. You're going to want to try to figure out, you're going to want to look in your basement. You're going to want to thrift your own home to find different kinds of things that you can use to create this project. I call it a fairy tale gardening project that has something to do with Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear. And the color palette will kind of be determined by a lot of the coleus cuttings that I have started this year.
Okay, I want to point this out to you. Look at the screen.
Oh,
She did
yeah.
a super sticker.
Mimi, thank you for your support, your additional support. That means so much to us, and it also really helps you stand out on the screen if you ask us a question. What 3 plants do you love most for fall annuals? That depends on whether or not we're talking early fall or what I consider to be late fall. And early fall for me is late September, whenever it starts getting cool, mid to late September and through October. And then after that, I kind of consider late fall when it really starts getting cool. So for me, I love mums, but typically I like to use them in a more organic way because mums have a very stilted kind of prudish growth pattern. They kind of aren't very free form. So typically when I use those, I use them in 4-inch pots, and I kind of tuck them in a way to make them look a little bit more organic and flowing. I love kales. I love cabbages. I love ornamental peppers. And this year, actually one pepper that I am looking for is black pearl, and the peppers are purple, and there's a little pink to the buds. And I'm looking kind of for those, which might mean that maybe pink mums. I always love white mums. Later in the year, I love, obviously I love pansies. I love violas. Snapdragons don't do real well here, but I plant my pansies in the fall, and they typically endure until the spring. And then there are unusual things. Sometimes if the marigolds look really good and they're in an autumnal palette, I like those. It just kind of depends on what I can find, but those are some of the traditional ones. But now they're coming out with so many new color sways of different things. Proven Winners comes out with different things. And then I always like my Southern Living plants, my heucherellas and things like that, where the foliage is just so beautiful.
All right, here's this one I thought was interesting.
I always wanted to know why you have a name in your garden for a pond, but you don't have one. Okay, so this goes back to and a lot of people have asked why I don't have a water feature, and it's because I just don't think that my garden, I could maybe have a small fountain or something, but I just don't think my garden is large enough, and I don't kind of want to mess even with the maintenance of the pump and all of that. If it were a more prominent pond, I probably would. Okay, the reason I call it a pond, for which there seems no direct correlation, is because that area I used staggered brick, which actually is not even there anymore, but there was staggered brick. By staggered, I mean it was like this, and there was a brick border. And the reason I call it that was because at Monticello, and this goes back to my son having attended UVA and having spent so much time at Monticello while he was there was an area at Monticello that Thomas Jefferson named the fish pond. And the fish pond was just a relatively small, I want to say maybe 5 by 5 or 5 by 6 pond area. And that's where they raised fish for the table. And it was circumscribed by that kind of rickety-rackety brick, which was in the area that I called the pond, and it was my homage to Monticello. So that's why. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it was more of a personal thing. I already talked about that one, Stuart.
Okay.
What 3 plants do I love most for fall?
Right.
This is so much fun. Can I trim my lemon, cypress, boxwood, and myrtle boxwoods year-round? I wouldn't say year round, Lori. I would say that so depends on where you live. Like right now, my boxwood, I haven't pruned other than just very gentle pruning. I haven't been pruning for a while because it's been way too hot. But now I will start pruning them. Lemon cypress, the same thing. If you prune them, then it exposes foliage that had been somewhat shaded by the foliage farther on down the stem, but it also might force new foliage that hasn't been tempered to the heat. So it's one of those questions that depends on what your zone is. I would Google it. But for me, I won't be doing it for a little while yet.
Just to make sure you talk about this, I'm going to put it on screen.
Oh, yes, the giveaway. So this is the 7-foot plant trellis giveaway from Costway. It was kind of, I'm not sure how much it was. Carrie, you might let us know how much it was.
7 foot, right?
7 foot. I think it was well over $200. So this is a major giveaway. And we saved the major ones for you guys that are members. I think we're going to do a giraffe reel. I just love that giraffe reel. I think we're going to.
Yeah, you keep trying.
I keep trying to talk about it because I want to give it away because I love mine so much and I want to share the love. So anyhow, this is what's up. We love Costway. They're big supporters of my channel, and I really like them. So if you're in it to win it, make sure to let us know. Make sure to comment here. And by the way, if I ever did any from a design standpoint, if I ever incorporated one of these into my garden, I would definitely wear at the bottom where the bottom meets the soil. I would definitely plant things in that area to really soften that. So you can't see exactly where it fits in, where it goes into the dirt. I would soften that and maybe do some profuse plantings around that. So it looks like it was a little bit more grounded than free floating.
Okay, back to questions.
Okay.
I had one.
I have 2 small ones. The bigger is about 5'3", and I don't have a pump. I use water plants to keep the water clean and a little waterfall. The dragonflies love it. Nita, that's wonderful. And I can just see the dragonflies hovering. By the way, here is a little tip. I recently watched a movie on Renoir, and I don't remember if it was on Prime or Netflix, but about the painter Renoir. It had subtitles. It was in French, but it was just beautiful. And if you're a garden lover, you would love it just to see the beautiful settings and everything. When do you change your home to fall design? Are you talking about the Beverly? Are you talking about and may I call you Bev, or do you go by Beverly? Are you talking about the inside or the outside of my house?
I'm gonna come back to that one unless she can type quick. Let's see.
Unless you can type quickly. But the fall, not until it starts cooling and until fall starts showing up in garden centers. That's basically when I start doing it. And I would say as a guideline, I really start thinking about it September 1. On the inside, as soon, kind of already now, I'm thinking about it. September 1, if from an interior standpoint, is when I think about, if I haven't already done it and jumped the gun, I think about rearranging my furniture in the living room so that the big chairs, the mom and dad chairs, are positioned by the fireplace. I start thinking about autumnal colors, and certainly the plantings and things that I have, and all of the fresh flowers, because all of that to me is very, very seasonal. So slowly it starts transitioning over time.
Karen just joined as a member, so make sure you say thank you to her.
Karen, welcome to this very nice club that we have here. And if you guys comment on all my major videos, make sure to put your zone, because what I love about you guys, and especially the members, is you all are really proactive about answering other followers' questions.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, Stuart says it's awesome because it's really hard for me to get to all of them. And sometimes you are much more well-versed about, obviously, much more well-versed about gardening in a different zone than I am. And the fact that you have my back and you have other followers back is one of the things that we love about this community. It's really wonderful. Cheryl needs the trellis because her garden is total weeds now.
You got a question on there too.
Okay, and a question, even though I know of your current home and garden, I get the feeling you are looking forward to a fresh garden canvas to exercise your creativity. Is that right at all, Mary? You are spot on. You hit the nail on the head. I've gardened here for going on 35 years. I've written a book. That was one of my, and if you haven't ordered my book, please do. It really was an act of love. You'll get a lot of, I think you'll get a lot of great ideas. But I even wrote the book partly as an homage to this garden so that I could have some closure and I could document it over time. But now I'm ready for a new aesthetic, both inside and out. Not dramatically different, you guys. We all kind of share the same aesthetic. So I'm not going to go uber modern. I'm not going to do any of that kind of thing. But here are some things that I might be looking for that would be appealing to me. Number one, I want a lot more light inside of my house. I love my mahogany woodwork. I love the aesthetic of an old English Tudor home, but it is a dark aesthetic, and I'm looking for more light inside and out. I'm looking maybe for a little more symmetry. Everything inside and out for me is asymmetrical, and I think it would be fun to play with straight lines rather than curved lines. And maybe just a different overall home style. I'm very interested in Spanish architecture, in maybe a Federalist style, in just different kinds of just architectural styles, but which I could easily translate my current loves into a different vernacular.
And Beverly said it's Bev. I get Bev is good, and inside is what she was asking.
Okay,
about.
inside.
Now you answered those, right?
Yeah, so I think, so subtly it'll start changing. And of course, we will show you some kind of our inside stuff. Karen Ford, oh my goodness. Oh, Karen, you're in Charlottesville. Last year, winter caused me to remove many trees which had mostly shade plants. Now, what evergreens would be best to have year round? Well, first of all, in Charlottesville, and can I just say, Charlottesville has a part of my heart. It was allow me to digress a little bit.
That's fine. I'll keep that question ready.
Okay. Karen, let me just digress a little bit. It was my dream as a young person to go to University of Virginia. And I never really tried because I never thought it was an option. I put myself through school and it just wasn't really an option. And I came from a very large family. And so it was more about what was practical and affordable and convenient versus what was our dream school. So I dreamt through my children vicariously, and my son, Johnny, probably it was one of the happiest days of my life when he got admitted as an out-of-state student to University of Virginia. I cannot tell you how exciting that was. And because it just channeled so many of my own dreams, unrequited dreams, I guess. And I just love Virginia. I grew up in Tennessee. I just love Virginia. So, but in answer to your question about shade trees, I would say I would look at hollies. I would look at English hollies, any of the hollies, the Oakland hollies in the Southern Living Plant Collection, any kind of arborvitaes that need some shade, but can also handle part shade, part sun. That's what I would go for. There's probably a whole bevy of maybe Carolina laurels. There's a whole bevy of evergreens that are probably available to you that would grow well there that don't do as well here because our rainfall is so unreliable and our winds are so high. So I would ask for your extension center. I love Taylor junipers. I love Canart junipers. I love anything that's, I don't know if you can grow them there, but I love blue atlas cedars. And it kind of depends on if you're going for something more symmetrical or something asymmetrical. I love Foster hollies. So I would just kind of Google it, call your extension center and see. But if I'm in Charlottesville, Karen, and I've considered next year, I just couldn't do it this year, but next spring, I am going to do a book signing in Birmingham, Alabama with Southern Living Plant Collections. And if I'm in that neck of the wood, Karen, I would love to do one in Charlottesville. If you think you could drum up 5 people to come to a bookstore to see me, I would do it just to meet you and just because I love Charlottesville so much. My 3 boxwood topiaries, when the sun all burnt, will they come back? I moved them to a shaded part of the year. Well, first of all, Norma, well done you for recognizing that they could be moved. I would say leave them in the shade for a while, and when your temperatures moderate, And you're not saying if they burned dramatically or if just like the veneer was burned. So I would say start by clipping off the veneer if it's just the outer layer of the boxwood topiaries. If it's large sections, then clip out the large section and start trying to get them reestablished. I would also, right now, if your temperatures have moderated and you're not in the hundreds like we were, then I would start giving them a gentle organic feed. So any of the Espoma organic feeds are great. I would start doing that, and I would keep them in part shade for a while. So whether or not they come back really depends on how badly they were zapped. And just, but if it makes you feel better, Norma, I have lost, well, in the Arctic blast, I lost 2 huge, very expensive boxwood topiary that I'd had for years. And so you just keep your fingers crossed. Don't give up on them. Don't give up on them. But I kind of can't say. Question: will you visit any public gardens in Singapore? Oh my, yes, Lisa. I have a whole itinerary and spreadsheet that my very organized children have laid out for us. So yes, we will be going to some public gardens. We're going to be going to Chinatown. My son's wife is from Singapore. I'm so excited to meet her parents, meet her family, see where they live. If you haven't been to Singapore, it is amazing. It is simply amazing. One of the most beautiful cities in the world. And I can't wait to do a deep dive into it and its culture. We have visited there in the past, but it was more of a superficial visit.
Mimi and Karen are new members.
Mimi and Karen, welcome. Welcome. Today is a K day. Lots of people that your names begin with a K. I don't know if that means anything. Stuart, do we have any questions?
Oh, well, there is.
Phyllis.
Well, okay. Go ahead.
I have oak leaf hydrangeas. I see yours behind you. Did you just cut and arrange those with the heat? Mine are brownish. Is it too late to cut mine? I have started cutting off. This year, they kind of didn't dry on the plant. They just went straight to brown. And to me, they didn't have really the floral integrity to even bring inside as dried cut flowers. So mine, I am going ahead and just cutting off the dead. Typically, I leave them on there for winter interest and because they turn kind of a beautiful silvery color. But now they just look dead. And so because of the intense heat this year, I'm going to go ahead and cut those off just so that I can really enjoy a fresher looking fall garden. But from a horticultural standpoint, yes, you can do either. You can bring them in if they're still presentable, or you can just cut them. So this year I'm just going to cut them.
Somebody asked about what the emojis mean, and so I pulled it up to be able to say exactly, essentially what each flower means in the circle. There's different colors. It's kind of hard to explain, but the peach is you've been a member for a month, white is 2 months, violet is 3 months, and you get all the way up to the pure silver if you've been a member for a year, and after 2 years, you get a solid gold one.
You get a solid gold one. And the thing is that makes us just feel like you've been a member of the family a little bit longer. It's special to us. It gives you a little bit more gravitas, maybe when you ask a question or something like that. And it's just it's just an expression of your support. You guys know that producing this kind of media doesn't come cheap. I mean, it is how we earn a living, but there's also lots of expenses involved in it. This is just a way that you can financially help support the channel. How do you feel someone talking over your garden when you move? Oh, taking over my garden. I would interview homeowners. Your garden is globally well known. Jackie, that is definitely a question. And honestly, when we put it up for sale, I will be marketing it here on social media because I am hoping that someone maybe recognizes it and will love it. It's not that I expect it to stay static and not change. I want someone to put their own imprint on it. But I also hope that they would be a good steward of this garden. There is another garden in this neighborhood that was very, very well known.
This one, right?
It's really inspired me when I started gardening, and it has fallen into terrible disrepair, and it hurts my heart. But I can't let that keep me from living my best life. And yes, it is internationally known, but hopefully I can maybe start another garden that's internationally known and share the process with you. I think that's one of the reasons I want to do this is I consider myself kind of a transitionista. And so many of us, so many of you out there, whether you are older, whether you are younger, you're in the process of transitioning from one time in your life to another time in your life, whether that's physically, or you're starting a family, or you're an empty nester, or you're upsizing, or you're downsizing. And I think transitioning has so many things in that we all share in common. And so I want to share the whole process with you. The ugly, I can't resist sharing my uglies with you as well as the pretties. So that's kind of how I feel about that. What is your favorite fall pollinator plant? You're in zone 8. I tell you, I would say that if you in zone 8, depending on how humid it is there, if you can grow any of the sedums, I think autumn joy sedum, pure joy sedum, there are so many gorgeous sedums, and boy, do they attract pollinators. They attract pollinators beautifully. I love, lantana attracts lots of pollinators, and lantana probably in your zone is a perennial. And I love lantana because it's just so beautiful. But I love my herbs. I love my basils. Any kind of herbs that attract pollinators, I dearly, dearly love. It's kind of like trying to pick my favorite child, but I love anything that's native to the prairie if they will bloom again. But in zone 8, you've got a really broad expanse. And, I love salvias. I absolutely adore salvias.
I got a good one for you.
Okay, here's one. Does your husband have a preference for a new home style? Actually, that's a great, I know sometimes it seems like Hubs is always in the background and he doesn't, but yes, he does. And I would say he very much has my back aesthetically, but he has a wonderful aesthetic sense as well. So let's just say he is also open to it, but he has ultimate veto power. So if I found something and I absolutely fell in love, then he would trust me on it. But if he absolutely didn't love it and he thought it didn't resonate with him, he would tell me, and he would have veto power, and I would very much respect that. Because aesthetically, we kind of have the same value set. Does that make sense? Can you have aesthetically the same value set, Stuart, or the same temperament? But yes, like I say, he likes to stay in the background, but when he has a strong opinion, he doesn't hesitate to vocalize it. Totally personal. Do I have a favorite perfume and also hand care tips? I have seasonal nails. Yeah, I don't wear a lot of perfume, quite frankly, and I never have because it gives me a little bit of a headache. But I love natural scents like lemon verbena, and recently I have really started liking patchouli because I love its fresh scent. When I do have scents that I like, they tend to be more woodsy and always natural and not so florally, but maybe almost a little bit more masculine. Okay, here's a question for you guys. This will really send you back. Did any of you back in the 80s used to wear Aromatic Elixir by Clinique? Because I can smell that scent and I am immediately jettisoned back to the disco days and my professional working days and big shoulder pads. And also hand care tips. Other than sunscreen, no, but I tell you, I save manicures typically for kind of special occasions, and I will definitely be getting a manicure before the wedding, and it will be an autumnal color. And by autumnal, I mean I love that deep slate blue. I love any kind of colors that I think of as Sedona-ish, that are dusty pinks that remind you of the desert, things like that. I've already answered that question
Okay,
from
well, there we go.
Phyllis.
Sometimes I miss.
Okay. Lisa wants to know, will you water your bulbs more this winter since this year they were so short? The first ones came up short, but I think that had more to do with the temperatures and the fact that we didn't get a lot of rain. The ones that came up later, they came up taller. But in answer to your questions, I might, but I
You on
really
this one?
like my bulbs
Is that where you
to,
are?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
just making sure.
I really like my bulbs to try to be as tough as possible
Thank you, Karen.
and just have very little supplemental watering. So I'm just praying for more reliable rainfall and snowfall this year. So I'm not really sure. It kind of just depends on if I think about it. I remember the smell of it gave me a headache. Karen, well, what can I say? It didn't give me a headache back then, but when I smell it now, it gives me a headache too.
You get this one yet?
Did anyone wear Shalimar? A lot of people did. I did not, but we are going. I'm sorry, we're too.
No, that's fine. This is the whole point of this.
We're going back in time.
Is the chat. So.
OPI Grand Canyon Sunset. Yes, Brenda, I would agree with you. That's an OPI color. Do I have a favorite tree for planting? I live in Northwest Arkansas and especially want trees for fall color. Now they make a gangly teenage tree, but if you can plant them when they're a little bit larger and you can get a good shaped one, I absolutely love Chinese pistache. I think their color is just so beautiful. Is Stuart going to try to find a picture of one and put it up?
I might be able to. What's it called again?
Chinese pistache. I think they are just beautiful. And then I love Autumn Glory and October Blaze, or maybe it's Autumn Blaze and I can't remember, but those words. Autumn, October, Glaze, and Glory. I love those. They're all forms of cato maples, which I just love. I love oak trees. I love Nuttall oaks. I love sawtooth oaks because they really can stand up to what Oklahoma can throw at them. And I consider them really good investment trees. I love lacebark elms. There was a beautiful golden lacebark elm that was at Calvert's recently when we did that boutique garden center tour. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it because it was absolutely gorgeous. So there are some options for you. With a small arbor, cover if it only has minor damage from heat, brown tips. Maybe a small arborvitae, recover if it only has minor damage from heat, brown tips. Mine, Deborah, a lot of mine did that. And yes, if it's just minor damage, then I would wait till it cools off and I would just clip them. I would just clip them off. And if you want to wait, if you're nervous about even doing that, when they dry enough, they'll kind of crinkle and you can just kind of crumble the dry tips off and then wait until very late winter to prune them and it will flush out in new growth. My emerald green arborvitaes in the border across from the protege have done that, and I'm hoping that they will recover too, because the arborvitaes, they really need afternoon shade. I think sometimes they can take full sun, but boy, it got up to 115 here, 112. I mean, we were well beyond the 105 mark, which is, for me, is the cutoff.
Tell Clancy we have not done the giveaway yet. Someone asked if they missed it.
No, we have not done the giveaway
yet.
yet.
Until closer to 30.
No, it's 2:38 now, and we don't do the selection until the very end. So if you're watching this or you're just a regular subscriber, and lacebark elms are invasive, I had never heard that, especially here in Oklahoma. That probably depends on where you live. Boy, they're not invasive here, but good to know. And if you would share where you live, so people in your area will know that. Because what's invasive in one place isn't invasive in another place.
Did you already do this one?
I have some of the pain in the you-know-what hydrangeas.
That's what I thought you'd like it. Yeah.
Yes, I do like that, Kim. Like you, that only blooms on new wood. I'm considering a full-on tarp to help next year. Well, the thing is that you want them to bloom on new wood, not on old wood. And a tarp won't help those that bloom on all wood because that is a cold issue. But if, that you learned that in class. I'm sorry, I'm jumping back to the invasive things. Well, thank you. Let us know what your zone is so we can share that with other people. But Stuart is wanting, he had a brilliant idea. I'm jumping around here. But if you have some that bloom on new wood and they're still frying after it gets really hot, then yes, I think a tarp would help those if they're frying after they bloom on new wood. But Stuart had a brilliant idea, and that is, he said, in my new home, especially if it's symmetrical, I would consider putting on a, what did you call it?
Oh, for me, it's
you know how they have automatic swimming pool covers?
Do that 7 feet in the air. And cover
Yeah,
the garden.
I'm thinking about doing that with a tarp, that if it got really hot, I would have just an overhead tarp cover that rolled up.
With a button.
With a button. So if you think that's a good idea, and if Stuart needs to patent that idea right now, retractable tarp, a retractable automatic tarp that would cover your garden. And I think that's a great idea. Another personal one, what is the name of the beautiful lip cover you wear? Love it. Okay, Carol, if I am gonna, this Tuesday, if we can fit it in, I'm going to try to do, I have gotten some great products, not sponsored products. These are just things that I have ordered by my big girl self online, and I absolutely love them. And I'm going to share those with their links on Tuesday. Most of these things are really inexpensive, but they have changed the quality of my life. Let me just tell you that. And one of them is MAC lip colors that you can get, but in a way that's not too prohibitively expensive. And that's one of the things I'm going to share, Carol. I'm going to share that on Tuesday. And so this color is 2 different MAC colors. It is MAC Matte World, WHIRL. And then I've topped it off with another MAC color that's a little bit paler, and I can't remember the name of it. But I'm going to share all of my new MAC lip color ideas with you. Will you have a greenhouse in your new garden? Will you plant this Chinese snowball again?
She better.
Stuart would not forgive me. Stuart would not forgive me if I did not plant a snowball viburnum. Okay, now Hubs is looking in, and he will not be seen on camera, but you get to hear his voice. So I said you won't be seen on camera. They wanted to know if you had any say in the style of the house that we buy next. And
No.
he says no. I told them, okay, but you have veto power, do you not?
No.
That is so not true. So now not only will he not be on camera, he will barely even say 2 words. Are you not going to say hello from Hubs or anything, that you really do exist?
Hello, everybody. I am Hubs.
And you really do exist.
I really do.
And now he's going inside.
See it.
Yes, Hubs, aka Linda's long-suffering husband. But definitely, I will plant a Chinese snowball viburnum again. I don't care where, I will plant one again. And by all means, if there is room for it, I will definitely have a greenhouse, which could open up a whole new world. I actually wouldn't mind a smaller garden, but one with the capacity to have a greenhouse. I would love that. Andre, where are you from? Is it? Yeah, Andre, where are you from, Andre? And I love that name, Andre. Can I just say, I love it.
Everybody, we're trying to make sure we get to every question. I'm sure I've missed some.
Origin of the torch lamp behind you. It's such a great piece. Isn't that a great piece? And that was that belonged to my husband before we even got married. It's kind of got a Beardemeyer vibe, and it was in the loft apartment he lived in before we got married. And yes, I love it. And I don't know the provenance of it because it's like 40 years old. Let's see. Be sure to tell us about your eyeshadow palette. Okay, Michelle, I will do that. I will do that as well. And I sometimes toy with the idea of having another Linda Vaughter style channel that is nothing but these kind of things, because I know garden people aren't interested in beauty things. Well, sometimes there's an overlap. I shouldn't say that. Sometimes there's an overlap. Sometimes they're not. But I toy with that idea. If you think it's a good idea, you can let Stuart and I know. I'm not making any promises, but
We're working on it.
we're thinking
Yeah,
about
we got a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, we're thinking about that. You guys are always you're always so nice to tell me I have pretty skin or whatever. That's very nice. We old ladies. No, I'm not old. I'm not old, am I? We women of a certain age.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I said that once. You gave me some crap. All right, look at this.
Always appreciate it. Well, you know your hubs knows he won't get us won't get a say. Well, he knows what's good for him, and I started to say he knows who wears the pants in the family, but I would really get in trouble if I said that. Let's just say about certain things he wears the pants in the family, and about other things I wear. As a true feminist, I wear the pants in the family, and but we're a team. We are a team, and he does what he knows how to. Like I said yesterday, how I hate to run errands, and I do hate running errands. But Hubs likes to run errands. He can't sit at home for too long. He gets antsy, so he is the errand runner, and I am the stay-at-homer. Put her awayer. Hubs has Stuart's past fear of being heard and seen. Y'all have to slowly build his courage
Oh, there
up.
it is. Sorry, I was trying to put it out.
Well, it may be a Vaughter thing because my boys don't really like to be on camera either. And that's just it's weird to me. But I will say this about all of my boys. They love words as much as I do. And Hubs also kind of likes to write. And my son, Johnny, loves to write. And actually, I take that back. My younger son Jamie, both my husband's name is Jamie, my younger son's name is Jamie. We call him Jay Murr or Jay. He also is so smooth on camera that I'm surprised he doesn't like to be on it more, because he is really smooth and he can just talk spontaneously off the top of his head. So why he doesn't, I don't know.
Wonder where he got that
I don't know. Yes, but slowly we'll try to do some reveal. But Stuart, I want you guys, everybody applaud. Do me an applaud emoji that Stuart has come out of his shell. And all of you thinks he's got a really sexy voice. He's got a really sexy voice. And so for any of you who are just joining us, just joined us a member, that he is not my husband. He is not my son. He is my photographer, my good friend, and my man Friday.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah. Okay. I should definitely have a gardening boot line on QVC. I would say they are signature part of your style. And I would. Who said that? Anya. I love that name too, Anya. I would agree.
Garden boot line?
I would agree.
Garden boot line was here.
There's.
Is there two garden boot
there's
lines?
two. Yeah, two
wow.
people who said that. That's weird. I love boots. It's one of the reasons I can't wait for fall. And normally I wear boots really all the way through the summer. I haven't so much this summer because it's been so hot. But yes, I think I should. And maybe I won't in 2023, maybe in 2024. Again, it just so much depends on sourcing, but by all means, I need to do, and I've thought about doing a video that's nothing but where I do just a quick change from one boot into another boot. Because as you guys know, I wear all of my boots. I am not somebody to own something and not use it.
Did you see this one?
Maybe you should heed in a branch of your, yes, I should. I should do that. Make a new little one to give a heartbroken Stuart. The problem is some of the limbs that would do that are really high. So maybe
you could actually cut it off.
But you know what? Lisa, thank you for that, because I will start doing that with my Deutzia right now. I will start doing that with my Deutzia and some other ones. And that is a brilliant idea, Lisa. Lisa, you know what, Lisa, for that idea, heel in is what I think you meant. Lisa, send your address to support@lindavotter.com for that, because that is a great transitionista idea. And I will send you a little something, maybe some seeds from my garden or something.
Look at this one.
I did that on my second
They
home
did the
over a
awning
deck. It worked, and it was on a wall switch. Oh my gosh, Deborah.
That's
So
cool.
if you would share with us the name of that company. Did you use a special company, or did you use one that was like for a pool cover? Or maybe they just have those that are just for
Yeah,
exterior outdoor living. I am so, that is a great idea. I just love it. Thank you, Deborah. See, this is why we have to talk regularly, because you guys give me such good ideas. Did I always dress up for garden work? I go out and grub and get so messy. I can't imagine being so darn cute as you are. I think it's because seldom, I've shared this before. If I had the luxury of one full day out in the garden, and that's all I had to do was be out in the garden, then I don't know that I would look as cute and have on makeup and things. But the fact is, I seldom have the luxury of a full day in the garden. And it's typically, I garden on the margins of my time. So I'm gardening before something, or I'm gardening after something. And that something usually requires me to have on real clothes. Whether it's a video, whether it's a Channel 4 segment, whether it's a QVC segment, whether it's a meeting, whether it's a book signing. And so I would say that pretty much most of my life, I do look like this. I don't think it's affectation. Stuart, I dress like this.
No, yeah, I can definitely
ever
attest
since
to
you've
that.
known me.
Yeah, it's
I just dress like that. And one of the reasons I wear makeup outside, you guys, I've told you, is not out of really vanity or whatever, including eye makeup. It's because I have such sensitive skin. And if I don't wear makeup outside, it provides another layer. And Stuart has a.
Oh, when you're done, I'm letting you finish, sorry.
Okay.
Here. I don't think we've talked about this yet.
Oh, do you have any idea you would be named in top 100 Better Homes and Gardens magazine? Tell us
In case you guys
more.
didn't know, Linda's garden is in.
In case you didn't know, it in the 100th anniversary of Better Homes and Gardens magazine, I am one of the formal gardening trends. I am now a formal trend. And
I can applaud that.
I'd applaud. And I have not gotten my issue of it yet. Stuart, we need to get.
We should probably get
need
one.
to get an issue of it. And it actually is the same image that's on the cover of my book. I am very honored to be in that. I did know about it because they had to ask me for rights to publish the picture. And so I did know about it. And back in, early on in the year, maybe in March or April, they called and they interviewed me. So I did know about it, but I forgot about it. Not because it wasn't important, but because sometimes I do these projects and then I'm not sure exactly which issue it's going to be coming out in. And that's why sometimes I get off, I'm off base and I don't. So but I'm very honored to be in Better Homes and Gardens, as I was honored. So I should have. I'm going to shout. What is it? Blow my own horn. Blow my own.
Toot my own horn.
Toot my own horn. Thank you.
There you go.
I first kind of became famous because of Southern Living. And I had been doing TV before that, and then I got in Southern Living in 2007 for the very first time, met my wonderful friend Jean, my photographer friend Ralph, my friend Rebecca, this is the kind of thing I love. So here's a little story. My friend Rebecca was an associate garden editor at Southern Living magazine, and she and I were friends for years, and we would meet up at different locations. Then she went over to David Austin Roses, and I think she's now the head of their marketing department at David Austin Roses. And she in some upper capacity at David Austin, and we still are in touch. And I can remember when her daughter Phoebe was just little and wanted a pair of red cowboy boots. And so I told Rebecca where she could get some red cowboy boots. Well, now Phoebe is all grown up and is living in Enid, Oklahoma, where my husband was born. And now Phoebe, because her significant other is living on Vance Air Force Base there. So that just shows how these connections over time all intermingle. But I also, and then after that, I established a relationship with Southern Living. I've been in Southern Living a million times. I wrote for them for a while. I wrote for HGTV magazine. I was in Victoria magazine. I've been in Mother Jones and in, I'm not even sure.
I'll never forget being in the thrift store and coming across a
Oh
random
yeah.
magazine. You were
Stuart
in
thought
it.
that was funny. So anyhow, you guys are so sweet.
We're getting
So,
close to done. We could probably field one more question, and then we'll have Carrie
Okay.
help us out with the winners.
Um,
So if you want to find one that's in here, there's a few that have come in.
okay, Lancy, it's such a great feature to be in a larger format of Better Homes and Gardens. So it's in a larger format. I haven't even gone to get it. And so I'm so sorry.
Here's a good one.
And okay, Lancy, you've been, have you been to my house? I can't remember. You've been a member for a long time. If you bought a Spanish bungalow, would you do a desert landscape? I don't know that it would be a real desert landscape because so many desert plants are not cold hardy, or it gets too cold here.
Don't say anything.
But
yet.
I
Read the bottom line.
definitely.
Don't say anything yet.
Okay, we're not going to say
That was
anything.
coincidental. That was interesting, but yeah. Keep going.
Okay. But if I bought a Spanish bungalow, would you do a desert landscape? It would be desert inspired. And definitely I would do much more drought and heat tolerant plants. And I would do so much more of my beloved gravel. And so, yes, it would be much more of a Spanish Mediterranean vibe, what I love about that is there's definitely a fusion of because Mediterranean also can grow very many desert-like plants. So that's one of the reasons I would like that Spanish bungalows, because of the fusion between an English gardening style and a Mediterranean / desert / gardening style. And that's why I would feel like I died and went to heaven if I could find a house like that. But again, I'm gonna leave myself open, and the fates will just have their way with me, I guess. But believe me, if I find a place, you guys will be the first to know, both that I have found another spot and that my house is for sale. and I plan on you guys helping me sell it, because you guys know it inside and out, warts and all. But you know it's been very, very much loved. And we might even sell it before I find another place, just depending on what's going on in my life at that time. So
It's time. Drum roll.
Okay. This is so weird.
Yeah, what we laughed about will make
What we
sense
laughed
now.
about. Okay, so Stuart, I am going to let you share the news that Carrie, who I don't know how she does it. She has a random
It's
a random
essentially
generator
a
that picks
website
the
you can
winner
put
on
them in,
these
yeah.
kind of things. But Carrie just made the announcement. Stuart, would you like to let people know who won?
Well, it was interesting, and the reason Linda laughed is because she was answering a question or a comment from this person when we found out
This person was
the winner, and it's Oak Lancy.
Okay, Lancy. Okay.
Lancy.
So, okay, well done, you, Lancy.
Thank you, everybody, for participating.
That was serendipitous. I hope it's as serendipitous that we talked about a Spanish bungalow. And I
That was good.
So just just another reminder that
So let me put
a couple of reminders. So make sure to watch the one we did today. It was a really fun one. I love the one we did today. And also because we did it when it was kind of drizzling and in the rain. And I think my garden does look so pretty in the rain, doesn't it, Stuart?
It's amazing in the rain.
It really looks like an English
That's
garden.
why you spray water all over it when we take
Yeah,
photos
yeah.
too. It's the same thing.
Thank you to all of you who are I just really feel a personal connection to all of you. And I don't say that lightly, do I, Stuart? When I say
No.
things, I really mean it.
No,
I really
and
do mean it.
I can attest to this fact as well. It's amazing when people get a chance to meet Linda, because it's, she's almost more genuine and amazing than she comes across on screen.
I'll pay you later.
Well, she is such a warm person that helps so many people. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm going to blush. But thank you guys. I so appreciate it. Next time.
Let's make sure we connect with OKC. Okay, Lindsay, real quick. But yeah, you keep going.
Okay. So by God, we are going to give away one of those giraffe hose reels, which I think is our next members only.
Yes.
Okay. It's the retractable.
Yes, next month.
Giraffe hose reel.
And we will promote it. So you guys will know it's coming.
I think on the next, maybe Carrie, if you're still on, Carrie.
I need to say something too for Lancy, if you will send your information to support@lindavarder.com.
Yes. Okay, Lancy.
That's where
First of all, I guess I really need to know what your name is.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lancy, if you would send your mailing address to support@lindavarder.com, and Costway will send it out to you. It will come directly from Costway, so I don't know how long it will take before it gets to you. Then the next thing, Carrie, if you can confirm this, and that is, I think our next giveaway is going to be a pair. Speaking of boots, I think our next giveaway is a pair of high C boots. Carrie, can you confirm that? Carrie, if you're there.
I love talking to you.
If you're there.
It feels so high tech.
I know. It feels so high tech.
You look like you're on the news, right?
Yes.
With the banner.
Yes. Carrie, come in, Carrie. Carrie, come in. I think our next giveaway is a pair of high C
Carrie
boots.
she confirmed. High C boots giveaway
Okay.
next Sunday.
Next Sunday. Okay, and that's in the public one.
Yeah, that'll be
So make sure to tune in, save up your questions for that. Some other things we've got coming up for giveaways. We've got a subscription and a bunch of other goodies from Garden Gate Magazine. Oh, I've been in Garden Gate Magazine too. Shout out to my buddy, Kristen. We became great friends.
I'd be curious if anybody's seen Linda's face popping up in like Lowe's, Home Depot.
Oh yeah, and you may see my face popping up in Lowe's again. I apologize for that. But yeah, we're going to do a bunch of stuff from Garden Gate Magazine. We are going to do, this one. I'm not sure when. This might be closer to Christmas just because of our respective schedules. I think we're going to do a pair of those trio style earrings.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think I love Beautiful that earrings. Idea. I don't know. We've got some other great ideas. Carrie is the one who is the keeper of the gift giveaways, and that should be really, really, really fun, I think. So anyhow, and as it gets closer, I can't believe I'm saying this, and this is going to be my sign off, but I have already started shopping for Christmas. I don't know if you guys have or not, but I have already started shopping for Christmas. And I am going to share with you some of my favorites. I'm going to start sharing some of my favorite things on our Try It Out Tuesdays, favorite stocking stuffer ideas and things, because I know for me, it's a big financial whammy when it all hits right at Christmas. So I try to spread the expense out. Excuse me, Stuart. Spread the expense out over a number of months. And I typically start right now. And here is a thing, and I'm going to share this. I'm going to share it on Tuesday. A friend of mine recently had their Range Rover, a very expensive car, stolen out from his driveway in the middle of the night by remote. Somebody somehow hacked into his fob and was able to steal his car in the middle of the night. And immediately then, as all sorts of stuff started flying around, somebody said, well, you can get a key fob holder that you store your key fob in, that is anti-hacking theft protection or something. And that is going to be, it's like $14, and it's going to be one of the things that I recommend. So just as a heads up, but that would make a great stocking stuffer too.
True.
And so anyhow, that's just one idea. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. And a special welcome to all the new members. Spread the word that these really are kind of fun, that the probability that you'll win is much greater, but also the probability that your question will be answered, that your comment will
and
be
again
answered.
today, if you guys are still here, because a lot of you are, I tried real hard to get to all of them. So
and if we missed,
I'm sorry.
Then send an email to complaints or support at lindabotter.com, and we will answer it in the next one. Thank you guys. Enjoy your Sunday, and make sure to watch the video we've got coming up. Take care.
I got it.